Hey everybody, thank you so much for jumping on to join us. I am here in deepest Normandy with Eloise Briand, who is the author of Miss Maggie's Kitchen. She's going to explain to us afterwards why it's called Miss Maggie's Kitchen. Why am I here? Because those of you who get our books will recognize Eloise's book that was in the February box, and those of you who get our magazine will recognize Eloise from the article that we shared of her, I did have the page ready, of the, there we are, with pictures of Eloise's house and also the recipes that she so kindly shared with us. So today, I'm here with Eloise. Luckily, we've got her husband, Christophe, filming for us, which is a real luxury. Thank you so much. And Eloise, I think you're going to share one of your recipes.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for letting me come
Well,
to your house.
it's a joy being able to have you in the kitchen here, and thank you for everything that you've done for Miss Maggie's Kitchen.
Well, that's
great.
our pleasure, our pleasure. So what are you going to do for us today?
So today I wanted to do one of the recipes that I shared in the magazine.
Great.
So it's sort of like a salad. I always love doing recipes that you can do and change based on what you have at home and on the season and everything. So it could be a winter salad, but you can also make it a spring salad and add other veggies as they come along. Should we go over the ingredients?
Absolutely.
Just don't hesitate. Christophe is happy to, if you have comments or questions or anything, don't hesitate to write them in comments, and he'll let us know so we can...
we might get some questions in French, because you have a large French audience as well. My American audience is just sort of 10 o'clock on the East Coast, West Coast, they're still fast asleep in bed. But if you want to DM us, if you're watching this video later on, you want to DM us, then that's not a problem, and I can pass any questions on to Eloise.
Of course.
So your cooking is really family cooking, isn't it?
It's very sort of a family, try to follow the seasons and as local as possible. But I really love, my whole thing is, in French we say le partage, which is all about sharing.
Yes.
And I love having a big dish that we're going to put on the table, and everyone, can serve everybody else, and it can be for all generations. I think it's always nice to have, I've always grown up this way. I was born in France, but grew up in the US.
Which is why she speaks English. Thank you so much.
My parents live in Florida, and but we always kept the sort of the traditions of the French dinner as a family, and those moments together. So
and home cooking, not takeouts.
Not takeouts. Which is takeout is nice once in a while, but
I tell you what, try and find a takeout in deepest Normandy.
It's very tough.
Just doesn't even exist.
No, it's tough.
Okay.
So let's go. So we have a couple endives, the red endives, some mash, which is lamb's lettuce, a couple pears, some almonds, some pecans, a shallot. You can do one or two, but this one is so big I'm only using one. Some organic lemons. I have also some honey and olive oil, pepper and salt, a burrata, because I love burrata all the time. It's always so yummy. And then I have some raisins and some dried apricots, which will be a little addition to today's salad. So it's very simple. What we're going to start by doing is taking care of the shallots.
I love just standing and watching people cook. I'm just going to make me a cup of tea. It's wonderful.
You can have some
I'll
cake
let you
as
do
well.
all the hard work. That's really good. No, I won't have any cake, not yet. So why is your book called Miss Maggie's Kitchen when your name is actually Eloise? This is very confusing.
I know. Well, actually, we bought this house in 2015, and most of the houses around here in Normandy are sort of like the sort of old farmhouses, which are sort of like low ceilings.
Yes.
But this one is very sort of more in the British side, the Anglo-Normand.
It's quite bourgeois.
And so it's all, it's on an old domain where there's a castle actually just down the road.
Right.
And an orangerie and everything. And so it's part of this whole domain. And so it's a bit different. And the country we do a little journal of recipes that we could print and send to friends and family.
Good idea.
You know?
Well done. Good idea.
Yeah, because photographer, and but he was more like a human, doing portraits and like of humans, photos of humans, not of dishes.
Okay, right, yes.
And so he's like, oh, I'll try, why not? And so we did this first little journal, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to put Eloise Brion on the cover. It's a little bit strange. And since this house had inspired so many recipes and so many, big meals with friends and family, I decided to put Miss Maggie's Kitchen on the cover.
I think it's a great
And the name, it stayed because people started talking about it, and there you go.
I don't know how you do the follow-up there, Miss Maggie 2. I don't know how you're going to do the follow-up.
I don't know, we'll see.
No, it's a great title for a book.
Yeah.
And so you publish it first of all in French.
Yes.
And in actual fact, I'll show, while you're cutting, I can do some work as well. This is the cover of the French version.
Yes.
And then that's the cover of the English version. So obviously in our boxes we had the English version.
Yeah. And so the English one was supposed to come out in April 2020, and then with everything that's happened in the world, it was pushed back to the fall of 2020. But we're working on the next book, and it should come out in French and English at the same time in October.
Great, this year?
Yeah, this year.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
so that's exciting.
So it's very exciting.
And so do you have the title, or is it a secret?
I don't have the title.
Oh. Does your publisher know you don't have the title yet?
No,
does your publisher know you don't have the title?
Well, we're working on the cover already, and then we're going to see. Okay. But it's going to be all recipes again, and art de vivre, a lot of tablescapes.
Okay.
So that will be nice, and hopefully we'll be able to.
Sort of entertaining book.
Exactly.
Rather like I did a couple of years ago.
So that's what I love to do. That's what I miss actually right now.
Oh my goodness. I really think it's what we miss the most with this confinement. And I have to tell you that we've just been told yesterday evening that we are going to be going back into confinement for another month. So this is like, I said to Eloise, can I still come today? This is my last chance to get out before we go back into confinement.
For part of France. Here we're not.
You're not, but I am.
You're
that little bit closer to, because you're about an hour further west.
But it's going to come. It's going to come here because apparently all of the Parisians are in trains. Are in trains right now. They're going to Normandy. So I put the shallot with a little olive oil and a little salt.
So you're just going to soften shallots.
Exactly.
I'm loving this. This is the first time I've done a live watching somebody else do all the work, which is great, in somebody else's kitchen, and it's just nice to sort of chat with somebody while they're doing the work. I love it.
I've done it before, but more for TV shows.
Great.
But it wasn't in my kitchen, so you're the first in my kitchen like this. We're going to take care as well of our pecans. Just to cut them up.
So you came to live out here because when you bought the house, it wasn't a plan to live out here full time.
No, we lived in Paris, and then we would come during the weekends and during vacation time and everything. And then when the book came out in October, we were working a lot on the weekends here because all the DNA is here, and it's so inspiring here. I had a hard time coming up with recipes in Paris, but here with all the products and then going to the markets and everything, and the light. Because we only work with natural light, and the light here is magical.
Of course.
So we would work a lot on the weekends, but when the book came out, it became more and more. And so I said to Christophe, I said, you know what, I know we planned on maybe moving here, in 6 or 9 months, but I think we should do it now. And it would be perfect for school for the kids in January with work and everything.
Right.
And so we moved in 3 weeks' time.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And then you moved in here just before the first confinement.
Yes, exactly. On January 1st, 2020, which was perfect timing, which I had no idea, we didn't know. But
and so you started doing because you do live instas as well, in French and in English.
Yeah.
So you started doing those during the first confinement, like I did.
Yep, on March 17th. Christophe told me that on March 16th, he was like, tomorrow you're doing a live. And I said, a live? I was like, what are you talking about? And then, so we did lives. It was fun. It was for lunchtime, or we did also, because Christophe is not going to do it today, but perhaps another time, he plays the guitar and sings very well.
Wow.
And so we would do...
so many times.
Yeah, it was nice because we would do cocktails and music. lines. So I would do a little cocktail or something to nibble on, and then he would after sing and play.
Sweet.
It was really nice.
This is really, I think, okay, so we've really missed, during confinement, we've really missed being able to receive friends and have dinners and sharing moments. But what I absolutely love about confinement is the way that so many creatives have found new ways to blossom and to express themselves.
To do other things, yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's been interesting because we saw it with dancers. We saw it with a lot of so it's
That's interesting. Your almonds, you're just breaking them into.
Yeah, just
I never thought of doing that. I always chop them, but you're actually just breaking them by hand.
Yeah. I won't put too many. Some people are allergic to the almonds.
So you learnt to cook at your mother's side, or you self-taught a lot?
Self-taught a lot. I would say rather my grandmother more than my mother. My mother was from 1968 in France. She said liberated, where women have other things to do than be in the kitchen. And I don't think she had so much pleasure in it. Now it's changed because now she's cooking my recipes and sending me all the pictures, which is really nice. But I cooked a lot with my grandmother. We have a house in the south of France, in the Pyrenees, where there's no electricity for.
Oh yes, that's right. You described that in your article in the magazine.
Yeah. For 35 years.
The nuts going into the pan with the
olive oil
and the shallots.
Yeah, exactly.
And you think that by cooking the nuts it brings out a little bit more flavour?
There's a little more flavour to it, and it'll give a little flavour also to the oil, because that's I put more oil than I would instead of like a tablespoon, I put 3 in there.
Yeah.
Just so that that's going to be the oil for our dressing as well too.
Interesting. So if you were making this for friends, we haven't seen the rest of the salad, but once you've got the rest of the salad together, is this going to go in warm on top of the cold salad?
We're gonna you can put it warm, but what I do is I stop it after a little bit like this and let it cool a little bit before I put it on there.
Great.
Because you don't want it to wilt the salad.
No, exactly.
But we had a house in the Pyrenees, lost in the mountains, which we still have, but there was no electricity for 35 years. So we would cook with, the wood fire, open fire and everything. It was really nice.
No TV?
Oh, no TV? No, there's still no TV. We actually have a little network now, like a little
generator,
a little square where we have a little reception. But other than that, there's no TV. There's electricity now, which is nice because for hot water we would have to burn wood to be able to. So some people would take a shower in the mornings, other in the evenings because there wasn't enough. It's another way of of living, and I think I learned a lot from that as well too. To take the time
and very special moments with your kids as well, I bet.
Well, it's wonderful for them there. I mean, it's they completely adapt to that environment, and now as they're getting older, they're 5 and 8, but they're going on adventures in the mountains and inventing things with the trees and no, it's fun. And at nights during in August, you have, since we're at 800 meters, we're closer. And since there's no electricity all around, the village is 2 kilometers away, but there's almost nothing there. You have no light pollution. So you see all of the stars and all of the
that's such a luxury
shooting stars and everything.
Such a luxury today, really.
Yeah.
To be able, as your children and as you as well, growing up, to have known that's something that will stick with them forever.
Yeah, definitely.
So your lamb's lettuce has just gone in here. There's no endives.
Exactly.
And I noticed outside you've got a little potager. What do you grow in there? Obviously not now, but in the summer, what do you grow?
In the summer, there's tomatoes, zucchini, eggplant. We also grow our garlic and onions.
Great.
We have peas. We have green beans. We have
all
of the things. Some strawberries that the boys love as well too. Right. A lot of herbs. I love fresh herbs, so a lot of herbs. So right now it's and kale as well.
I like a bit of kale.
So good.
Is it
so
easy
good.
to grow?
It's easy to grow and
tried
it's really really good.
Est-ce que tu peux juste rappeler la recette, s'il te plaît?
Oui,
En français et en anglais.
It's
En
this
français
recipe.
ou...
Oui, et en anglais, il y a
In,
les...
in the magazine, it's the winter salad. Et en français, c'était.
C'est le salade d'hiver, mais qu'on peut faire pour le printemps. Donc, c'est...
In our magazine, it was page 82.
Yeah.
I have to push my magazine. Come on.
Yes, of course. That's why.
So already, what I love about this is the colours.
That's what I.
Isn't it important
I think
to have
it's-
a pretty dish as
yeah.
well when you sit down to eat?
It's so important. A pretty dish and a pretty table.
Yeah,
I think it's
absolutely.
everything. Because if it's delicious in the plate, but it doesn't look very, even if the taste is good, but it doesn't look good,
I know.
and then the table's the same. A
Yeah.
table that's not set, and it
With
doesn't have
love.
to be
Absolutely.
complicated. It could be some
Totally.
flowers or some, fresh fruit or lots of lemons or something. But I think it's part of the journey. It's
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
So I like to sneak them in a little.
So if you're putting them in like that, maybe this is not a salad that you will turn over with the spoons.
No.
You'll just grab it and serve.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Put a little. I think one is probably enough for this dish. Depends sort of on
The size of the
the
dish.
size of the
yeah.
dish and everything.
And this is a salad that would be what, 4 to 6 people?
Yeah,
I would think
I
so.
definitely. Tac tac. Là, je vais voir si it's still a little warm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. Take some good honey.
Mm.
This is honey from Ile de Ré.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Where
we
we
were
were,
to go
yeah.
on a holiday.
Exactly. Let us know if you have any questions.
Just one. I missed one. I missed the beginning. Where are you?
I am with Eloise Briand in her house in Normandy. And the reason I'm here is because Eloise's book, Miss Maggie's Kitchen, was in our February box, and we also featured her in our current March magazine. And so, because she's only an hour and a half from my house, I thought it would be fun to drive out and chat with her. We had never actually met before, so it's really nice.
Yeah, we've
And,
spoken on the phone.
We've spoken on the phone,
but-
that's right.
Yeah.
And so I just drove out to chat with her and to show you a little bit more about her world. That's why. Lucky me.
It's nice.
Lucky
it's nice.
me. I mean, that's what I was
Before
saying.
lockdown again.
That's what I was saying last night on my Instagram post. That honestly, if you are on the brink of doing something unusual or taking a different direction in your life, don't hesitate. Just go for it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And don't wait until you're ready, because you will never be ready. Nobody's
It's
ever
true,
ready.
it's true.
There's no point in having a checklist, because you'll never manage to take it all off.
And people tell me also, but it's the packaging's not perfect, or this isn't perfect. And I said, just
You
start,
just
do
do
it.
it.
It will
Do it.
grow as you grow.
So what I love is that Eloise has very much an entrepreneurial approach in the same way that I do, which I think is another way of being creative. I really believe that. And so I was really happy to be able to come out and meet her in person. And maybe one day we'll do a return trip, and you'll cook with me in my kitchen.
I'd love to. And then perhaps one day when we are able to all meet, we could do something together with guests. And have,
absolutely.
That would be
fun.
That would be fun as well too.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
know.
here you've just put in your
I put some raisins.
sultanas or raisins, and the dried apricots.
Yeah,
And now you're adding the shallot and nut
exactly.
mix. This must be so delicious. I'm already hungry. How long did you actually live in the States?
From age from 7 to 21.
Oh yeah.
Because I haven't been. Last time we were in the States was in 2019.
Yeah, of course.
And so usually we go a couple times a year.
Okay.
And so we haven't been. So I really miss. But I do miss it. I miss
family, obviously.
I miss family, but I miss even just the American way of life. And people are happy and they smile and it's and they have this positive attitude. I love France. but Americans have a positive attitude.
It's true. That's totally true.
And people in France love to complain, and I'm like, come on, just do it,
Yeah, exactly.
Or they want things to happen, but they think it's going to come knock on their, on their door, and it's like, no, you want, like you were just saying, you have to make it happen, and so I that's what I miss about it as well too.
You can never generalize about countries.
No.
But I think you're originally you were raised in America. I am British born and grew up in England, and of course there's still stuff that we think about from our native countries. But you can make yourselves a beautiful life.
Anyway, and I think the real luxury is being able to go between two. That's the real luxury.
It will come again.
It will come again.
Not straight away, but it will come again.
But I think that's the real luxury.
In your dressing, you just put the honey and lemon juice.
Honey and lemon juice for now.
No salt or pepper yet.
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna add. I love lemon zest.
Great.
So I'm gonna add a little lemon zest.
Great.
And it's really important to use organic
Yes.
lemons and citrus.
Yes.
When you can use all of the organic products, it's better.
Right.
But the citrus, they treat them 50 times more than the rest.
I know.
And so it's really when you're going to eat it, it's very, very important
For desserts that use the zest or
for everything.
Or for we do at home. How do you say in English the citron confit?
Citron confit,
preserved
lemons. I
lemons,
love
that's
preserved
right.
lemons.
So we have we only have one small little lemon tree just in a pot, so it's not like a lemon orchard. It's just a little small lemon tree. But at least we know that these lemons have never seen any treatments at all, and so we preserve those ourselves, which is wonderful because you're eating them really.
Well, they're so fresh
totally
and
natural.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean that's what I love lemons. I mean, people who follow me know that there's always going to be a little twist of lemon. I think this, which I had bought in the U.S. about 10-15 years ago, became the most popular item that I had during the first lockdown.
Seriously.
And everyone bought it, and I was like, I should have made some because it's really
So that's your turn 2 lemons, please.
that's really my and it's been with me for it's getting used up and everything. It's been with me, but it's
a shrub. And I've never used one like
that. Oh yeah?
No.
Oh, I'll have to get one for you.
Yes, please.
It changes your life. But a lot of people, it's interesting because a lot of people. Bought it during the lockdown.
So you haven't peeled your pears.
No, I don't.
Just quartered them.
Yeah.
And you haven't even cored them.
No.
Just doing some nice vertical slices because that's what's prettiest.
Yeah. See, this one fell out.
So pretty.
Let's see up. And this one can take off.
I love pears in salad.
Yeah. So good.
And this is totally vegetarian.
Yes.
For people who want to be careful.
But you can also, if you don't want it to be vegetarian, you could add, maybe some ham, some bacon, some pancetta.
Yeah, exactly.
You could definitely add other things to it if you want to.
Yeah.
And that's really the part that I love about recipes is that you propose something to someone and then they, with their own creativity and they put their twist and it becomes their recipe.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think that's what's really nice.
I have a recipe book at home, the one where I hand write recipes.
Yeah.
And I think on every single page it's like Martha's lime tart or Mum's cheesecake or Layla's rambaba, and I love the fact that when your recipes are passed on, it's also a way of remembering those friendships.
Of course, that's great. It's nice when it's handwritten as well too. I love when that's what people tell me about cookbooks too. They're like, oh, I don't want to get it dirty, and it's like, no, a cookbook has to live. It has to have oil stains.
Exactly, dots of chocolate cream and stick the pages together.
And little notes and stuff like that. It has to have all of that.
Yeah, we're totally on the same page there.
All right, so now I'm going to add a little pepper and salt. I like to use fleur de sel, salt all the time.
Yeah.
Even in cakes and everything, I feel like it always gives a little taste. And I prefer even to dose it. It's easier, I find.
It's totally different to using fine salt.
Yeah.
It's a totally different product. Okay, so we've got lemon juice, honey, salt and pepper.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And the oil is already with the with the nuts and the shallots. So.
Yes, of course. Well, lucky family having this.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There you go.
And then
And
the
then-
only thing you haven't used is your burrata.
My burrata that I love. Up.
So you have a whole burrata.
Yeah, and I sort of cut it up.
Some people say that you should peel burrata.
Yeah,
You don't do that?
No.
Oh,
No.
yours is particularly creamy.
Yeah. Because that's why I like them very creamy, and so I feel like it's still the skin is very it's still very soft, you know.
That's true.
And then you can just
Beautiful.
put them up here and there.
So if this was summertime and you were, I mean, I know it is more of a winter salad, but if you were making a summer equivalent to this, instead of the pears, would you put another fruit?
Yeah, peaches.
Peaches.
Peaches are delicious.
And maybe you'd have some herbs from your garden as well?
Exactly.
Which
You
herbs
put,
would you
like,
put in?
I probably, the basil. I love using the mini basil.
Oh, yes.
Little
Yeah,
leaves. I feel like they're so good, and and you can put them. They really put extra flavor in there, and
it's a different flavour.
It's a different flavor. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Up this one here, and then we'll just sprinkle on a little
more pepper.
pepper because it's
Because
always
it's
nice.
pretty.
Yeah. You could put, if you want, a little olive oil on the burrata, just little dots, but
Sure.
you don't have to. Yeah. There we go.
There we are. How pretty is that?
There you are.
Beautiful. We're ready to serve up.
Exactly. It's very easy, and so
exactly.
it's easy just to put together.
This is the sort of cooking that we love, and that's why we were so happy to feature your recipe, because they are real recipes that anybody can do, and they're totally family cooking.
Yeah, and it doesn't take, because a lot of people don't have a lot of time. You work, you have kids, and so it's nice to have something, and it's important, like you said, for it to look nice. You want to, it has to look pleasing to the eye.
Yes.
It has to be healthy as well too.
Absolutely.
And the kids love it because there's this whole sort of like the
Crunchy,
sweet, the crunch, the sweet,
yes.
here with the pears and the apricots and everything, and so the whole family's happy.
Great. And can you tell us a little bit about this beautiful looking cake that you've got there?
This one is the cake, the orange blossom water cake.
Yes.
Which is probably the first recipe that I actually really worked on and created for Miss Maggie's Kitchen.
Seriously?
And it took me some time to really find the good balance and the good,
So how many cakes did you have to eat before you got to the right one?
How many did we have to eat?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Goodness me,
But,
he really is perfect this day. Not enough.
But it's the kids' favorite. It's Gustav's favorite as well too. When we had friends who come for the weekend, they're like, "Oh, did you make the orange blossom cake?"
Oh, great.
So no, definitely it's and it's just you have to have good orange blossom, and so finding that the water is always something. When I used to travel, I used to bring some back from Tunisia or Morocco and everything. But now we found that in France, at least, chez Maison Alep,
Oh yes.
they have really good orange blossom. But you can find it in the specialty stores with like the Lebanese, or.
And again, that's a product where you don't want any sort of treatments or anything.
Exactly.
You want it to be as pure as possible. So just it's in your book.
It's in the book. It's in the book.
So just walk us through quickly what is like a basis for a ketka, like a genoise, or what is the basis?
Yeah, well, it's like it's base of a loaf cake. So basically, what you do is I melt the butter in the milk.
Yes.
And then take 3 eggs that you whip up with sugar. There's sugar in it. It has to be a little, It's just, but like people tell me, oh, there's 200 grams of sugar. And it's like, yeah, but you don't eat the whole cake. You eat one slice.
But that is what French cuisine is about. Is that yes, of course you have butter, Of course you have sugar. Of course you have olive oil. But because that's what makes it beautiful, is you have a little bit of
everything. It's not, it's not unique. So so you mix those up, and then you add the orange blossom to it. You add the flour and baking powder, and I always and a little baking soda as well too.
Okay.
Because it makes it a little more fluffy. And then you let cool the milk and butter. You add it to that, and poof. 40 minutes later, it's in the. What I do is right before I put it in the oven is I sprinkle more sugar on top, which gives it this little crust. And I actually mix 2 sugars because I do a brown sugar and the normal white sugar, and so it gives it that little crust.
It's nice actually because you can see that crust slightly detaches itself from the cake.
I think that's what everyone really likes.
Yes, I bet they do. I bet they do. The forbidden sugar. Yeah.
So when I make it and it's to give to someone else, the boys are like, oh. So now I always make 2.
So before I hope I'm going to have a piece of this cake.
Correct. It's going to be tea time.
Tea time, exactly. So before we leave you and sit down to have our tea, can you tell us? Because you were telling me you've got something quite exciting happening this year.
Yeah, we actually have 2. Well, we have 2 things. One that we just launched, which is À Table with Miss Maggie, which is a special space on the website on subscription, and people subscribe and get exclusive new recipes. So content is released on Mondays and Thursdays. So
Twice a week.
Wow. They get content. So there's recipes. There's what I call grandma secrets, which is like how to have the best homemade cleaner for your windows, or how to clean your the wood, or even a salt bath for yourself. Tell me.
Sorry, just a quick question. If you have an idea, where can we find orange blossom water in the USA? If you have an idea.
USA? I think probably Whole Foods.
Whole
I think Whole Foods would have it.
You really want to go for the quality. You don't want to go for something industrial that might have additives in it. That's the important thing.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Whole Foods. And then there's also tablescapes. Do-it-yourselves ideas.
Oh, okay.
So I made those are little candle holders. I just made for that as well too.
Sweet. I'll bring one over.
They're homemade.
So sweet.
They're homemade.
Look at these. This girl never stops. This little homemade. How cute is this? Her little homemade candle holders.
Candle holders. So you have all these little things. You have a podcast with a guest of the month.
Fantastic.
And you have a savoir-faire, which is to know about how someone makes ceramics, or how they make vinegar, like the apple cider vinegar, or how they just different artisans
and what we should say is that your whole site is bilingual.
Everything's bilingual, and this is bilingual as well too.
I don't know how you do that. So it's in French and in English.
Exactly.
So much work.
So we have that, and then in May we have what we're talking about is the lifestyle collection. So there's be a few fashion pieces and accessories, but also things to help you cook in a beautiful way. Because I think it's important to have nice pieces as well to cook, and also tablecloths and napkins and everything for the
table. What are you calling this collection?
So I think it's going to be the name is we're working on it now, but it's going to be called Parsley. Parsley by Miss Maggie's Kitchen.
Sweet.
Parsley. Yeah.
So you've chosen a name in English.
Yes, well, just like Miss Maggie's Kitchen.
That's true.
I think
the French.
But it's but I like it in English. Parsley, and it's sort of I feel like it fits well.
Sweet. Yes, I think that fits really well. So. Well, this was. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for hosting me in your kitchen. So looking forward to having a piece of your cake. Thank you for sharing the recipe for us, and we look forward to seeing your collection that comes out in May. Thank you to all of you who've joined us. Thank you to Christoph for filming us. And I will probably be back on Sunday with a live, because I've got a whole load of antique paintings that have arrived in the store, and I want to tell you about those. So thank you so much for jumping on to watch and to listen, and see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, now this is the bit where you must